I'm Jessica Jerwa, and I am here live from Alaska Airlines Aviation Day 2019, and I'm so excited. We have a whole bunch of members here today from across the state. We have cadets that are here getting to tour the various aircraft. We also have Captain Ignacio Hoyos here from Seattle Composite Squadron. He's actually their unit commander. Can you tell me about why you're here today? What did you do?
Yep. So I think I'm here because I find it, first of all, as a pilot, I think it is a very cool opportunity to be able to fly into SeaTac International Airport with a Cessna, number one. But I also think it's a fantastic opportunity for all the members to be out in the community. There's a lot of people from the public checking out the different airplanes and everything, and Civil Air Patrol plays a very important part in our community. So it's a great way to display the airplane, show kids around. Been having a great time actually giving them the tours. I'm an orientation pilot, and I think it's
what does that mean, orientation pilot?
Orientation pilot is one of the jobs in Civil Air Patrol where the pilots will take some of the cadets, the teenagers, up for introductory flights. Some of them they've never flown before. Some of them they have some flight experience. So it is always a great opportunity to find that level of how much do they know about airplanes, how much do I need to teach them, and this event is the same way. I mean, some of them have never been close to an airplane before. Some of them have already flown. So you find that perfect level and you teach them about the airplane. We've been showing them around, giving them a pre-flight inspection, and talking about airplane anatomy and answering their questions depending on their level of understanding,
their knowledge, right.
Their knowledge. And that's one of the reasons why I joined Civil Air Patrol. It's one aviation enthusiast, and it kind of drives me mentoring youth into aviation, and this is the perfect opportunity to do it.
So you mentioned you got to fly a Cessna into SeaTac. Not everybody knows why that's a cool thing. Obviously, we're standing here in front of the airplane that you brought in.
Yep.
And ordinarily, the aircraft that fly here are much bigger.
Yes.
So that's not something that you can just do every day, or you got to have a little prearrangement, right?
Yeah, so SeaTac, it's Seattle International Airport. It is, as you can probably hear from some of the noise, it is the main commercial airport in the Seattle area. So a lot of big jets and whatnot. Small airplanes like this, they're allowed to come in, but you do require a lot of coordination because you don't want to disrupt a lot of the commercial jets. We fly a lot slower than the bigger jets. Right. They also charge a lot of money to land, but today it's a special event, so they bring everybody in. And even for that, I mean, today not only being in this airport, but the coordination of it, it's an interesting challenge as a pilot. Get up early in the morning. We had to circle around and get special clearance as we got our landing clearance, and then it was fun to see. I mean, not every day you hear air traffic control telling a commercial flight, hold short for little Cessna that's passing by, right. And then hold short for C-17 that's taxiing behind you,
and then right next to you have a biplane coming in.
Exactly. So, yeah. It was a really fun morning coming into the airport today.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. I would actually like, if you don't mind, I'm going to follow you. Can you show me a little bit about the aircraft, what you've been showing some of the kids that come through?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to grab the camera here and come with us. Hopefully you can still see me. Okay.
Yeah, so the way the event has been running right now, there's not a lot of people because everybody's taking lunch, so it's a great time. But the groups kind of come in, and then I try to get a feeling for how much they know about aircraft and aviation in general. If they don't know a lot of it, I just go with the basic anatomy from out here, just show them what the wings are, the tail, different control surfaces, how they function. And then after that, we just walk them through the pre-flight inspection. So we usually start out inside the airplane. The way we have it set up right now for the day, it's already all powered up, but we kind of show them how to power up the airplane, check for electrical systems and stuff like that inside the cockpit. We have our checklist up here that we follow, and we kind of show them some of that happens, and then turn on the systems, etc., and then we start going with the walk around. Pre-flight inspection is the inspection that you see all the pilots do, even commercial pilots do this before their flight. They do a walk around to make sure that there's no damage on the airplane and make sure there's no fluids leaking from where they shouldn't be leaking, etc. So just a simple check for any damage around the airplane. As we walk around, I also will point out different parts of the airplane, so different communication antennas that we want to make sure that they're in good condition, but also explain to them what they do. Usually in a normal pre-flight you won't do it, but for the tours I've been doing that. Show them the elevator, the control control surfaces, how they function. Actually give the kids an opportunity to move them too, so they get a feeling for it, of how it functions, how heavy it is. I don't know, for those following in the camera, this is the tail surface, the elevator to control your pitch, etc. And you got your rudder. We discuss a little bit about the trim and how it works and how it keeps the airplane nice and level during cruise. This particular airplane that we have, it's one of the airplanes from Washington Wing that has 2 fine ribbons. It's actually been used in 2 search and rescue missions and actually located the downed aircraft. And one of the things that I also like to point out on all of this is some of the equipment that the airplane has. So this one has an antenna at the bottom of the airplane, that cylinder-looking antenna, which is the one that's used to locate the emergency beacons. As we continue, I don't know if we're continuing the whole thing, we discussed the flaps, we discussed the ailerons, how they function. We discussed some of the fuel, how to drain the fuel, check for fuel impurities or water, check for the brakes and the tires. Once again, depending on how busy it is, if the cockpit's available, we let the kids go into the airplane, show them how all of the control surfaces that we've been discussing on the outside, how they function in the inside. So when you turn the yoke left and right, how it moves the ailerons or how it moves the elevator when you pull it. We discussed some of the basic aircraft instrumentation, navigation, what the different levers and buttons do, and mostly let them ask questions. And everybody has a different level of knowledge, and they have all kinds of interesting questions.
Thank you so much for joining us and taking the time, and thank you to everybody who's watching along online. Feel free, if you have any questions about our aircraft or our program, go ahead and put those in the comments and we will get back to you. Thank you so much again for joining us, Ignacio. Thank you.